Hi everyone, welcome back to Let It Cook cooking channel. Today we're making an awesome, more elaborate shashlik. For this we need olive oil, salt, pepper, bacon. Here we have pork neck, smoked paprika, and here I also have a curry spice mix that I still had in the cupboard, but you can also just use regular curry powder. In here we've got strained tomatoes and broth, cumin, brown sugar, garlic, onions, bell peppers, and thyme. First, I'm going to make my spice mix here. And now a shout out to Leonard. Leonard, my dear, thank you so much. You sponsored this beautiful mortar for me. After I complained for so long that I didn't have one, you gave me one as a gift. Thanks again, it's really great. I'm using the spice mix now, but you could also use curry powder or a curry mix. Now you can do it however you like. Then I add a bit of paprika powder. I have a smoked one here, it's just something I still had in my cupboard. You can use regular paprika powder with a bit of curry powder, whatever you still have at home, okay? Then a pinch of cumin, but be a bit careful here, not too much. And a bit of brown sugar. So we can add a bit of the thyme here as well, okay? That gives us a bit of freshness. You can also use it dried, that's no problem at all. And now just rub the thyme in there. The essential oils are then absorbed a bit by the other spices. It doesn't grind as nicely, of course, as the dried spices, but you can immediately smell the aroma. I can't really tell you exactly where shashlik comes from. I think it comes from the Balkans, maybe Serbia or something like that. Who has researched this now? I don't know, but if any of you know, feel free to write it in the comments. But please don't start a war over who invented it. It's ours, it's ours. So what did I do here? Here I just had a can of chopped tomatoes with herbs and still had a bit of broth left, and I rinsed out the can with the broth because, I don't want to waste anything. So don't be surprised, it's just gotten a bit thinner now. I poured that together right away. I'll use that as the base for the shashlik. We're preparing shashlik today. You can use it just as well for grilling. Just leave out the tomato sauce, yeah. Then just do it the way we're about to do it with the spice mix. Thread it onto skewers and grill it nicely. Works just as well, but today I'm doing the oven version. That way everyone can try it at home. Yeah, who knows when you'll be watching this video. Whether it's winter or summer, whether you can grill or not. Just something for everyone. Let's get started. To get a beautiful Let It Cook knife, use the link above. Take the garlic. I just cut it in half. Cut it into small pieces. Chopped a little bit. I'll cut the stuff up for you a bit today so it doesn't take so long, okay? For example, with the onions. Yeah, I have a method where I pick out the nicest pieces of the onions, okay? I cut them here. There's the bell. Press the bell below and you'll get a notification when I upload a new video. And now I'll cut these fairly large, okay? I take the nicest pieces that I can skewer well and set them aside. And the other pieces, I just leave them there and use them later for the tomato sauce. I'll just roughly chop them up then, okay? And then I have the nice pieces right away for the really, really big skewers. I believe onion is nearly the most important part of good shashlik. Now with the bell peppers, we do it the same way. We just cut around the outside here so that we have the nicest pieces for the skewers, right? But the leftover pieces, we'll also put them in the sauce. We don't want to throw anything away. So quickly, just cut around. Okay? And now you just do it in fairly large pieces, okay? You can already see it. I'm cutting it a bit more roughly now so that it just looks nice and homemade. There. Chopped bell pepper scraps and everything together. Don't waste anything, even thyme stems, etc. Now I'll quickly start the sauce here. Then while I'm putting the skewers together, it can cook a little longer. I like to let tomato sauce cook a bit first, even though it will bake in the oven for a long time later. Now add all the bell pepper. And onion and garlic. Add a bit of the spice mix here as well.
so that it gets a bit of flavor, a bit of pepper, a bit of salt. Roast it properly once. This paprika gives a really good flavor if you really turn up the heat when roasting it, okay? And now
I'm going to deglaze that with broth mixture.
and the tomatoes.
I'll let the sauce simmer for a while, then finish the skewers. Then we'll make some skewers. I have some nice pork belly and a very, very nice pork neck here. Never use lean meat for a shashlik. Yeah, you want to grill it? Then do it like I do in the oven with a longer cooking time so it becomes nice and tender. And if you were to use pork tenderloin or pork loin or something like that, it would just, as we say in Bavaria, turn out bone dry. Yeah. So use something that's nicely marbled with plenty of fat running through it. The more fat you have in there, the better it is. Yeah. Now I'm cutting this really beautiful piece. I got it yesterday from my absolute favorite butcher. Let's do it. Down. I'll leave another steak next to it for now, just so I don't cut too much at once. If necessary, I'll make myself a nice dinner out of it later. Yeah. And now you just cut the pieces here pretty generously and roughly, yeah. So really don't cut it too small when making shashlik. Okay. We do the same with the bacon, right? We cut the bacon the same way. Just cut it into slightly bigger cubes. And here too, I don't cut everything up right away because I always find it annoying when you pre-cut everything for shashlik and then you end up with some leftovers that you can't really use anymore. And we can always make a nice dish out of the bacon and pork neck. Of course, I'll link below what I actually used. Yeah. And now you always start with a piece of meat or bacon. That's really important because that way the skewer holds together best. Meat, bacon, bell pepper. If you don't like green bell peppers, just don't use them. An onion. Yeah, you can always add a bit more onion. I'll probably have to chop some more later. I was a bit too stingy before. And always feel free to add a bit more bacon between the vegetables, yeah, so that it also adds a little something and gets a bit more flavor. And finally, let's finish with some meat. Yeah, and now let's press it down nicely here. You can also trim a little more off the corners, yeah. And those trimmings you get, the thin pieces, just throw them into the sauce. That way, the shashlik later, especially if you're grilling it, but it's also good for the pan, can really sear nicely on the sides when browning, and you'll get a lot of great roasted flavor. So that's about how the skewer should look. Of course, it would take way too long if I finished all of them now, so I'll just make a quick cut here. All right, my dears, all done. That was quick, wasn't it? Hope you can do it that fast at home too. Just kidding. And now we'll go ahead and season these guys here generously with our freshly ground spice mix. There are also spice mixes like that. There's actually a really good kind, organic spice mixes. They're called Herbaria. I just want to do a little advertising now. Yeah, they're not paying me either, just so you know. I think the spice mixes are great. And an old buddy of mine, Hans, does recipe development for them. Shout out to Hans. Sending my regards. That's why I used one of those spice mixes this time. Of course, I just wanted to tell you that you can easily do this without those mixes as well. And now we'll add a bit of olive oil to the pan. It could get hot, so be careful. Now I'll just do that. So I have a total of 8, then we'll do 4 and 4. Season with a bit of salt. Now the music. Now I'll show you the sauce here. I want to be honest with you, I made a few more skewers than the recipe says. Yes, the recipe is for 4 to 6 people. I have a few more now. That's why I poured another half can of tomato powder onto the sauce. so that it's really enough for everyone I have here. Because you can also keep the skewers and reheat them. A whole house will be happy, but the recipe below is correct in terms of the quantities. Don't let it confuse you if I have a lot more here than you end up with, okay? I'm just going to pour the sauce into the tray now. And you can see, I really didn't waste anything, okay? When I was skewering, I chopped up everything that was left over and put it in there. That already gives you a really good base flavor, okay? Shashlik is often served with rice. Rice always has a bit less flavor, I'd say. So it's good if your sauce is really flavorful. They should be nicely crispy and well fried. That's why this will take quite a while again. Let me show you here. Fry them on 3 sides or even 4, depending on how they lie in the pan, so they really develop some nice browning. It takes a few minutes. I'll show you what the finished fried ones look like. Exactly, my dears. This is what they look like when they're done. Nicely fried and crispy. Now place them close together in the sauce. Alright, now I'll quickly finish the other 4. Okay, my dears. You can see if they don't look absolutely amazing and especially already smell fantastic, even before they've been in the oven. So if you're making them on the grill, of course, we're going to cook them a little bit more now. Yeah, but they're already almost done now. If you're making them on the grill, just add a nice barbecue sauce. I'll link you up there to how to make a really good one. Check it out. It's really fantastic. Unfortunately, it doesn't get nearly enough clicks. Hardly anyone tries it out, just because it's so delicious. Drizzle a little more sauce over it. Then we cover it with foil. 140 degrees, 90 minutes in the oven. Yeah, so really long, low heat. For the last 20 minutes, remove the foil. Turn on a bit of top heat so it can get a little crispy on top, and then I'll show it to you. My dear friends, our little delicious shashliks are ready. Let's take a look at them. I think it looks fantastic. Yeah, yes. Let's just move it around a little now. Oh, a dream, now I'll take one out. I need to forgive myself. I won't prepare them all now since we're having them for dinner tonight. That's why I'm just going to try a little piece for you now and see if we got the cooking time right together. They were in the oven at about 140 degrees for at least an hour and 20 minutes. Now let's give it a try. It's a dream. My dears, try it at home. Give it a try yourselves. Unfortunately, I have to try it again. Still have to try it. Still have to try it. Enjoy your meal. See you next week. Bye. See you.